Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, that subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's crack on with today's first story. I can just imagine your faces when I repeat that every single episode. I'm sorry. Our first story comes from a throwaway account titled "My 29 female fiance 32 male has not allowed me to have alone time in almost 8 years." We first started dating almost 8 years ago. I own my own house and he rented an apartment. Right off the bat, he started wanting to be together pretty regularly. Initially, I thought it was just the honeymoon phase. I attempted to set boundaries and started by trying to let me have 1 day a week to myself. On that day, he would call me with plans and ideas, but then say something like, "Oh, but it's your day to yourself. I guess we can't do anything." So I changed it up to a floating day. That way, if something was going on, he wouldn't feel like it's off limits. Eventually, he would call me crying that I didn't want to see him on those days, and I would cave and let him come over because I would feel horrible. About 3 months in, I invited him to stay over one night, and he essentially never left. He was over all the time, and my ability to have alone time disappeared. When I would ask him to give me space, he would say he doesn't understand why I would need alone time, or vaguely accuse me of cheating because I wanted time away from him. He would tell me that on my car ride to work, I am alone, so that counts as alone time. If I wanted to go out with friends without him, he would get upset because he didn't understand why I would want space away from him. I would come home and he would give me the silent treatment for a while. I would take the small times when he was at work and I had a day off for my alone time. I've worked full time, so it was a rare occasion, but I needed them. But about 3 years ago, he completely quit his job. He said he wanted to be a Twitch streamer, and if he pursued that, I don't know because he wouldn't speak to me about it. This meant he was home alone all the time. He schedules time with his friends while I'm working and will only do things while I'm at work. If I get home and he's playing video games with his friends, he will quit. About 2 months ago, he got a new job, but made sure to find something he could work from home to do. Although now he's complaining, and I think he will be quitting soon. I'm at my wit's end. I feel like I've completely lost myself, and I don't trust myself at all. I felt like this isn't healthy, but he's so adamant I'm wrong. I don't know what to think anymore. Edit. Thank you to everyone so much for the advice. This is a little overwhelming. Several people have asked if this is what I want my life to be like, and the answer is it's not. But I don't even know where to begin to get out. If I'm completely honest, I'm a little scared of him. He's never been physical with me, but has always been very quick to anger with strangers and have confrontations with them. I have animals and take care of my elderly mum now because my dad recently passed, that are factors in this story. If anyone has any suggestions on what my next steps are, please let me know. My word, and my first thoughts on this is that you've been dealing with this for 8 years. I need alone time, and I believe that alone time is absolutely healthy and critical for a relationship. And it sounds like what you've dealt with is manipulation. Oh, but it's your day off, I guess we can't do anything kind of thing. Controlling behavior. As for what you do in this situation, you know the ins and outs of your relationship, but from what I'm reading in this particular post, I would want out of that. But I would say in regarding your safety, if you are really worried about that, I would look to maybe friends to support you or reach out to anyone, any kind of support network that you have to help you get through it. But the fact that you say that you feel completely like you've lost yourself and you don't trust yourself anymore and you don't feel like it isn't healthy, trust yourself on that because this isn't healthy, regardless of he's adamant that you're wrong. But Floppy Bunny says, "Oh my god, have you put up with this shit for 8 damn years? Your boyfriend is wrong. This is not normal. It is not healthy. It is controlling, obsessive, and toxic." Yeah, I can't get over 8 years worth of that. Grissy says, "Just reading this made me feel exhausted and claustrophobic. I can't imagine how you've lived it for as long as you have, but you have got to get away. This relationship sounds exhausting and miserable." Bot Gives Bot says, "Saw your edit. You need to get a lawyer and find out how to legally evict him and separate your lives. Protect yourself financially and get a lawyer before you talk to him about this stuff. You also need to learn how to set boundaries. Start therapy and check out Love is Respect, a site about setting boundaries, relationships, personal safety, and where to get help." And then shares the link. Borjaw says, it's crazy for anyone to put up with all of this, and even crazier for someone to ask it of you. Everyone needs their own space, and everyone needs a social life outside of their partner. Someone who doesn't give you that is ultimately having a negative impact on your life. He's isolating you and making you as dependent on him as he has made himself of you. He's taking away your independence and even stopping you from pursuing your own hobbies. There's little wonder you are sick of it. Werner says, you set boundaries and then didn't enforce them. You are absolutely not wrong. You're allowed to have alone time and you need to set and keep that boundary. Let him give you silent treatment. Let him not understand. You can't control that. But if he doesn't give you the space you need, then you need to think you're a long-term relationship with him. Odds are, either you accept that he's not going to give you space and live with it and him for every moment of the rest of your life, or you break up with him because he's shown he doesn't care about your needs. OP gives us a brief update and says, first off, thank you for the outpouring of love and support. The message is checking in on me. It means the world. I know everyone wanted updates on my story. Honestly, I'm still in shock about this, but I broke up with him. He got a remote job and worked from home, but quitted about 3 weeks ago and never told me. He kept up a facade that he was working and never mentioned it to me. I had my suspicions, but I wanted him to tell me. I finally asked him about it and he admitted all of it to me. And then I just completely lost it from there and told him he needed to leave. I'm beyond concerned I would let him come back. I'm struggling to adjust without him. Because it was so long together, it was my normal life. If anyone has any advice to keep standing my ground, I would love to hear it. And my advice would be simple on that, is just think about your past. Think about your previous 8 years that's got you up to this point of posting a story on Reddit about what you were going through and explained about what you've gone through and all the comments that people told you that this is controlling, this is not healthy behavior. And ask yourself, do you want another 8 years of that? I think perhaps talking to a professional about this may help you move on a lot more smoothly than questioning yourself if this is the right thing to do. 8 years of that shit being normalized has got to be hard to move on from, I think. So I can see a professional helping in that situation. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. And our next story is coming from the Entitled Parent subreddit from Electrical Plum 6281. Does have a couple of updates as well, and says, my mum is mad that I decided to leave for college earlier than necessary. Sorry, I'm typing on a phone because my mum, has broken my computer. Some background info I'd posted on Am I the Arsehole before about how my older brother would constantly eat everything in the house and not contribute anything to the family. He's 23. We would then be left with bread, water and pasta while him and his girlfriend would constantly go out for food, while also paying no bills and leaving everything on my mum. I have a gluten problem, so I can't eat bread and pasta, and I'd essentially be left almost starving. Once I did get a job, I'd buy things and I'd be able to eat gluten-free products. And he will eat everything in 2 days, and for the next week, I was left to starve again. It got to the point where I had lost so much weight my doctor was concerned. He recommended I started to drink some protein shakes and get a better balanced diet. I'd bought a few cases of Ensures, and when I get them, the next day they were all gone. So I immediately purchased a mini fridge and installed a lock on my door. This was fine for about 3 months until I came home and my door was removed and my mother berated me and basically yelled at me for holding out on them. Anyways, to sum up that part, for the next few months, nothing changed, but I was able to eat a little more, and I'm up to a healthy weight. I also got a full ride to my top college, and they invited me to their honors college and a summer program, which will give me college credits, and they'll also fly me out to them. All I had to pay for was my dorm supplies and clothes if I wanted any new ones. When I told my mum about it, she immediately said no to the program and to the college because I'd be leaving her, and she needs me because I'm her rock. I can't just leave her with my brother. Like, okay, then kick him out and live by yourself. This is the same man she protected and kept taking his side during arguments. Everyone in my family has cut him off but her. After like 3 arguments about the program, I enrolled anyways because my grandparents gave me money to pay for my enrollment and board fee, which was like $500. But since I'm 17, they emailed her to confirm if I could go. Luckily, she was cooking, so I just ran into her room and accepted it myself and deleted the email. Well, the program starts June 11th, and the whole week before that I was packing and slowly hiding things in my grandparents' house until it was time for me to leave. I don't know how, but my mum found out and called the college to say she never signed the slip and that I would not be enrolled, keeping me from going to college. She then broke my computer, saying that I won't need it since I won't be going to college anyways. I had called the college and there was nothing I could do really since I was a minor at the time. But 2 weeks ago I turned 18 and explained my situation to the college, and they let me continue the program, but said I'd have to pay for the flight down here myself. After that I called my grandma and had her come get me and the rest of my things. My mum was pissed. She was screaming, crying and yelling, asking me how I could just abandon her with my brother after all she's done for me. I just have the knot on my head from her tackling me and making me bang my head against our concrete stairs. My grandparents asked me if I wanted to press charges, but honestly, I just wanted to be away from her. She keeps texting me after what happened and said she's going to sue me for emotional damage. But that's not likely since she can't even afford to feed her family. I'm living with my grandparents now and I've never been more fed. I think I'll get all my strength back before I leave my grandparents' house. This is all honestly crazy for me because she's never acted like this. This past year, she's been on a downward spiral. Now, like I say quite often, I know it's very, very easy for me to be sat behind a microphone telling you, go no contact or whatever with people. But one of the questions that always comes up in my mind when I read stories like this, I'm saying, what are these relationships bringing to your life? You would hope that family is loving and supportive to you. What are you getting from this family? Your brother's basically starving you, ate your gluten-free food, drank your Ensure drinks, and even your mother's complaining that you was holding out on them. Mum is also physically and mentally abusive towards you. I think if you're not going to press charges, which, I know it's easy for me to say, but I think it should be in this case. I mean, she's abused you, she's physically assaulted you. But if you're not going to do that, I think the minimum you should get is any evidence you have of this kind of behavior and what's going on, just so you got a record of what's happened. But I gotta say, at 17, taking the steps to get yourself out of that situation, to get a full scholarship to your top college, is something you should be pretty proud of. But Linux Assassin says no, press charges. For the most part, once you let the legal system start turning, it turns on its own. The most you will need to contribute is showing up in court. You need the firm break of criminal charges between you and someone who starved you for enough time that your doctor got concerned. Otherwise, she will magically show up at your university and cause even more trouble and drama. Press all of the charges, report her for child abuse as well. Get the note from your doctor and give the police to explain that you were starved to the point where you were in danger. Excellent says, I'm hoping that you will never ever go and see her without your grandparents with you. Also, I'd recommend never spending the night in that house. Going no contact might be a little early, but her having to deal with your brother is her own fault and has nothing to do with you. Opie says, I don't plan on going back. I have family close to where I'm attending school and they already said they'll house me during breaks if needed. My grandparents have also officially cut contact with her. Practical Junket says, she won't stop even after enrollment. She's going to mess with your mental health and study. You need to put a stop. You never know if she'll ask your brother to face you in your university because he deserves something because you're in there. OP says, I don't think my brother will do anything. Me and my brother are on pretty good terms and he's apologized for his past behavior. I've gone low contact with him and no contact with my mum though. The Merc replies to that and says, he ate all your gluten-free foods, leaving you with only food that would make you sick. He broke into your room and drank your Ensure drinks. He's a 23-year-old man who starved you by making you decide between eating something that will make you ill or starving. It's no accident he left the bread and pasta. So OP's first update comes in and says, this most likely won't be the last update, but I wanted to tell you guys what happened and answer a few things I was messaged and things I saw. First, I wanted to thank everyone for the nice comments. Honestly, after the year I had, I definitely needed to hear things to confirm I wasn't crazy. I also wanted to thank you guys for pointing out the abuse I was going through. I guess I had convinced myself that the things happening weren't severe enough to be considered abuse. The things you guys said made me really think of everything that had happened in my childhood, and she was truly an abusive woman. One memory I can think of on the top of my head is when I was 5 and my brother was 10, was her keeping a suitcase packed, and whenever me and my brother upset her, she'd leave for hours on end saying she was tired of us and leaving us. In all honesty, before this post, I just considered that as a punishment. I also wanted to address a few comments and messages I saw. A few people spoke about me not fighting back, but imagine a 300+ pound woman on your back. I was terrified if I'd move, she'd most likely break me in half. Even if I did fight back, I'm 100% she'd body me in 5 seconds with superhuman strength. I also got comments about the doctor and why he didn't alert CPS. I'm pretty sure he thought it was likely I had an eating disorder than being starved. The doctor I was attending was a family's doctor, so he's been in the family for a while. My weight wasn't drastically underweight, that it was dangerous. It was more so I dropped from 140 pounds to 100 pounds in a short amount of time that he was concerned. Also saw a comment on TikTok about me being spineless for not pressing charges. You go get your ass beat by somebody twice your size and see if you want to see them again. I see some comments about financial aid and other things, but I don't need anything like that. My grandfather has his own business and my grandma works for him, so they have more than enough money. My dad is also an accountant, so he also has enough money. Anyways, for a sort of update, I read all your comments and took all your advice, so I told my grandparents exactly what happened while we were on a FaceTime call with my dad. He lives in the state of my college. My grandfather immediately told me we were going to press charges, and my dad also advised me to get checked out by a doctor for any head injuries. So we made a report with the police, and we are waiting to hear back from them, I guess. I don't know, I'm not that good with legal stuff. We also went to the doctor and they said everything seemed to be fine, but they did tell my grandparents to monitor me, and if anything happens to come back immediately, so I guess time will tell with that. I have no contact with my mum, and I've officially got no contact with my brother, which really sucks because me and my brother was very close for such a long time until a year ago when his new girlfriend moved in. In all honesty, I saw him as my hero, and it really hurts to see people change in an instant. Maybe I'm still in the aftershock of the situation, but I have real emotions for what's happening. I'm not really sad about anything, but I'm also a little glad this did happen because it truly showed me all those who cared for me. Also, once my dad heard about the computer, he sent me money to get a new one. Really happy about that, but I also want my mum to cough up the money for the other one. Maybe I'll go on a little shopping spree with it as reparations for giving me an ugly knot on my head. Also, now that I think more of it, my brother and mum are really fucking fat for us not to have enough money for food. Seems like I wasn't the only one holding out. Thanks for all the advice and for everyone giving me tough love and making me open my eyes to the abuse. I really appreciate all you guys, and I hope all goes well in your life. You guys truly are good people. But as I said, OP comes in with another update and says, okay guys, another update. I didn't think I would be making so soon. Lol. Good things first. I started seeing a therapist and it's going very well. Everything for my college is finalized and I'm very happy. I've also made a lot of friends that are going there through social media, so I'm excited to meet them. Now the other parts. I won't be attending the summer program because for the past few days I've been having fainting spells and the doctors don't know what's causing it. They say it could be due to the head injury, but it could be other factors as well, so I'll have to stay for summer for further testing. I'm upset that I won't be moving in, but I wanted to, but I'm happy I get to spend more time with my grandparents. On to other news. My mum was recently arrested, but not for the reason you may be thinking. So since I've had fainting spells, I haven't been driving because it's dangerous. Duh. I think 2 days ago, I went to get my protein water bottle out of my car when I see my tyres were completely slashed. All 4 tyres cut and stabbed deep. My windows and door handles were also covered in shit. Like real nasty brown shit. As I am a teen girl, I won't portray myself as some kind of saint and act like I've never been in drama. I immediately assumed it was someone from my high school or something, which was also weird because I haven't really argued with anyone recently. I woke my grandparents up and we went to the neighbor's house to get footage, and as you can guess where this is going, my mother was seen on footage driving past the house a few times before getting out of her car and ruining my car. Honestly, I'm not even mad about my car anymore. I just want to know where the hell she even got shit from. Like in the video, it looked like she was using a diaper. And as far as I know, none of my relatives have young babies, so whose shitty diapers did she take? Like, is it easy to obtain a shitty pamper? Why would she even want to hold shitty pampers? I genuinely just want to ask, where did she ever get shitty diapers from? I stay up at night thinking about this because I'm genuinely so confused on how she got shitty diapers. Anyways, the cops arrested her pretty quick for damaging property and trespassing, and she's waiting for someone to bail her out. Also, my brother had come across the post and texted me about him never drinking my Ensures and my mum having the packs of them in her closet. He apologized again, but I honestly could not care less at the moment. This whole situation is harming my inner peace and I cannot focus on them anymore. The thought of them being in the same state as me already messes with my energy. Even if he didn't drink the Ensures and she stole them for fun, I don't care anymore. I started using protein powder and it tastes way better anyways. My new MacBook has arrived and it's so much better than my last one. I think this will be my last update for a while. For all the people who wanted me to update in a few months, I will. You've all been such a help, and when I'm thriving in college, I'll be sure to come back. Someone asked OP about a restraining order and OP said yes. The police asked about it since this is our second report on her, the first being the attack. We will be filing a restraining order. Someone said to OP, have you decided whether or not to press charges for the first assault? And OP said yes, charges have been pressed. There was a lot of advice to OP about the fainting issues that's going on. A lot of people saying that they're glad that OP got out of that situation, and I'm incredibly glad that they got out of that situation as well, and they seem to be filing a restraining order because otherwise, she's turned up to your grandparents' house slashing tires, putting shit on stuff. It doesn't sound like it's going to change anytime soon. But I really hope that you continue to go on and live the best life that you truly deserve. I like OP's little tangent in the middle of that update though, where I was like, where the hell did she get shitty diapers from? Just like totally befuddled by it. I find myself going off, when I talk about things like I'm doing right now, tangents like that, like, what the fuck? Where did she get the diaper from? Why did she pick up a shitty diaper? It's funny how the brain goes off on random thoughts. The other day, I think it was yesterday, I was sat there, I was in the middle of recording, I had to pause, and I was thinking to myself, in Batman, again, I'm going off on here, where Jim Carrey was the villain, the Riddler, and trying to get into that character's mind when they're thinking about their outfit, and they think, just trying to think of bad guys and how they're thinking about designing their outfit. I want a skin tight morph suit with question marks all over it. And where does he go to get that designed? This guy's just popping down the local tailors and he goes in there and saying, this is what I want, the skin tight morph suit, question marks all over it. Can you do it? And the tailor's just like, what the fuck? Anyway, I've totally got off again. Thank you so much for being here today. I do truly appreciate your time, even when I'm talking absolute shit. Thank you so much, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care, and much love.